Shalom. This is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am Hebrew nations. The subject of our talk now is Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the present president of the USA. The date of this talk is October 21st, 2013, in the morning in the state of Israel. And President Barack Obama is standing for re-election, and we advise against it. We advise against allowing him to be re-elected. I live in Israel, and I live in Jerusalem. I'm not a citizen of the USA. I've no real residency in the USA. Last time I was in the USA was when I was about 5 years old with my parents, and since then I've never been there. But our organisation is involved with the USA. It does concern the USA, and also I live in Israel, and the USA is part of Israel, or Israel is part of the USA. In a geopolitical sense, the two entities are involved with each other. USA is a great big mighty state, and Israel is a small country, so you may say that the relationship between the two is disproportionate, but qualitatively it is significant. It exists. The USA interferes with the elections in Israel. All US American administrations interfere with the Israeli politics. Lately they have done much more so than usual, and they interfere quite aggressively with a lot of money, a lot of influence, a lot of advisors backing the side they want, they favour. And they're not the only ones. The EU nations such as Germany, even Norway, Sweden, Finland, UK, all of them also give money to quisling left-wing elements within Israel, large sums of money, and they also support the Palestinian terrorists or pro-terrorist groups who try to undermine the state. And the USA under Barack Obama has also done the same, to some degree. So I justified in replying, in making a comment concerning the who should be president of the USA. And not only that, we also, our organisation, Brit-Am Hebrew Nations, also has an involvement in the USA. We say the lost 10 tribes of Israel, are now to be found amongst Western peoples. They have been found amongst the nations of Finland, of Norway, of Sweden, of Denmark, of the Netherlands, of Belgium, of Switzerland, of France, of Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales, the USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and other places. That is where the lost 10 tribes are to be found as recognisable entities in our time. There are also many descendants of the USA, descendants of the 10 tribes of Israel, as well as descendants of Judah in other areas. Studies indicate that today, at the present time, more than half, or around about half of the descendants of lost 10 tribes of Israel are to be found in the USA. Numerically, from a numerical point of view. And also it is interesting to note that about half, or almost half of the Jews are also to be found in the USA. The Jewish population, if you include those who are immediate one generation, 2 generation descendants of Jews, the Jewish population in the USA is almost equal to that of Israel. And between the two, they account for 80 to 90% of the entire Jewish population in the world in our time. So the USA is important, and what we say, and the USA is important from this point of view. Also, the USA gives expression to the Israelite destiny of the 10 tribes in general in our time. The USA is Manasseh. It represents, dominated by Manasseh, and Manasseh is fulfilling the task that the 10 tribes had to play before the ultimate redemption. And we are involved with this. We study it, we talk about it, we propagate knowledge concerning it, and research it. And so what the fate of the USA from a biblical point of view concerns us, as it should concern everyone. The patriarch Abraham was blessed to become a great and mighty nation, which all nations of the earth would be blessed, which would do justice and judgment. See Genesis 18, verses 18 to 19. And it says that Abraham was to become a great and mighty nation, in whom all the nations of the earth would be blessed. In other words, becoming a great and mighty nation was a prerequisite to fulfilling the tasks that involved becoming a blessing for all nations of the earth and being a light to the nations, as seen in Isaiah 49:12. The USA has a task to play, as do the 10 tribes in general, and that task has been partially fulfilled, but some still remains much to be done. And the task of the USA is to upgrade, elevate the nations of the earth, to establish justice and judgment in the earth, and also to help Judah come back to the land of Israel and re-establish the land of Israel and reform the land of Israel, and to prepare the land of Israel, including the area between the Niles and Euphrates and other regions, for the future return of at least a section, if not all, of the 10 tribes of Israel. And this is discussed in the Bible, discussed in the prophets, and we have gone into this in other works, in publications, in articles on our website, and in talks that we have given, and we will also go into it further on. But now we are against President Obama remaining president because he interferes with this task of the Israelite nations, interferes with it, he is against it, and also for other reasons. These other reasons include the fact that Obama supports homosexuality. He supports abortion. Both homosexuality and abortion are forbidden according to the Bible. Obama is liable to weaken the US economy, and this is bad. This is bad for the Israelite nations and bad for everyone, bad for the world. Obama is anti-Israel. He's against new Israeli settlements in the West Bank and also in Jerusalem, and he interferes on every minor point concerning the Palestinians and concerning the right of the Jewish people to live in the land of Israel as owners of the land of Israel, as their inheritance that was bequeathed to them by the forefathers according to the Bible. Obama also works to weaken the USA. He is a third world personality, and he has third world ambitions. Obama, in addition to all this, is pro-Islam, he's pro-Palestinian, and he works on behalf of the Muslim Brotherhood. Obama promotes Afro-American racism against whites. In the long run, he is bad for interracial relations, and he's also bad for blacks. Blacks suffer because of Obama, even though 95% of the Afro-Americans in the USA now support Obama. They are mistaken in doing so. I'm not saying that they do so now, but in the last elections, that is what they did. Obama is anti-white, he's anti-Jewish, and he's anti-Israel. We'll go through some of these points briefly, and what we say, much of what we say is common knowledge. You can look it up on the website, look it up in different articles, or you can see what we've written on the subject, and we don't have to go into much detail concerning these major points, because Obama himself confirms them. Obama and his wife, in their speeches, very frequently, quite aggressively and affirmatively, they stress what they believe should be the rights of homosexuals, and the rights of homosexuals to marry each other, and to have and to be recognized, and to have official recognition be bestowed upon them, and protection. This is neither so much about tolerance, even though they may present it as so. It's not so much as one group living alongside another. Case studies, history shows that where you give homosexuals tolerance, where you tolerate them, they take over, they take control. That is what happened to the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is now bedeviled by a whole lot of paedophily cases of abuse, sexual abuse, and if you trace this back, it was not always so. At least it wasn't always so to such a degree. It all began, or at least it got much, much worse. It was greatly exacerbated when there were elements within the Catholic Church that began to tolerate homosexuality in their ranks, and it took control of them, and it's liable to do that everywhere. Everywhere it exists, that is what homosexuality does. It is a disease, and it can, if you do not tolerate it, do what you can to prevent it. You may not altogether remove it, but you will keep it under wraps. You will keep it at controllable levels, and it will not be as destructive as it is. Under the policies of Obama, homosexuality is going to increase, and homosexual advances and activities and addictions are going to increase to a great degree. And this is why Obama should be stopped. Obama is also in favor of abortion. Both abortion and homosexuality are forbidden according to the Bible. The Bible says you should not kill. And killing including killing an unborn fetus, unborn baby, or a born baby, which is what abortions, people who commit abortions, in effect, they often kill the baby after it comes out of the womb. Even though it's not publicised, or now it is publicised, it is admitted. And Obama wants to legalise it, and he wants to promote it and give long, and also to allow very late abortions, very late in term, and to allow abortions to be much freer, and in effect to cause many more innocent babies to be killed. So abortion is against the Bible. The Bible also condemns homosexuality. It says in Leviticus 18, you shall not lie with a male as with a female. It is an abomination, an abomination, an abomination. Leviticus 20 says, verse 13, if a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, and both of them have committed an abomination, abomination, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. So these are moral issues. For moral reasons, we should be against Obama becoming president any longer. Obama is also liable to weaken the US economy. So you may say, what do we care? The US economy runs the world. If it's bad for the US, it's bad for the world. Like it or don't like it, that is the reality. Maybe Obama wishes to change it. He belongs to a certain school of thought that seems to think that India and China should become the major nations in the world. But they are not. They are not, and God willing, they will not be. The USA is the major economy in the world. It's bad for the USA, it's bad for the world, it's also bad for us personally. It's bad for everyone. And Obama has policies that are against capitalism and against the success of the USA, against progress within the USA. Obama has now been president for 4 years. The situation has gotten worse. And we should be aware of this. Obama is not liable to improve. It's not liable to pull the USA out of the problem it is now, out of the situation it is now facing. Mitt Romney, the candidate of the Republican Party against Obama, has a track record of being a successful businessman, a successful governor, and a successful administrator, and of knowing the score, and also of being able to choose capable advisors. And he has a much greater chance of improving the US economy, and if he improves the US economy, so too does he improve the world. Obama is also bad for black people. It's bad for Afro-Americans. By bad, I don't mean bad in the sense of being good, in the sense of the reverse slang which is used. I mean bad in the sense of being detrimental. He is liable to cause them trouble and to cause them harm. Under Obama, the percentage of black unemployed has increased from 12.7% to 14.2%. So first of all, more black people are out of a job. And is twice the rate. The number of black unemployed is twice the rate of white people. Also, those blacks who do work, they have less money. They benefit. They can use their money less. That they suffer worse from the economic troubles than other groups. The black middle and money class has also suffered disproportionately because they were more conservative, you could say. They put a lot of their money into housing and to other fields and avenues, which were particularly hit by the downturn in the economy that Obama failed to stop, or possibly exacerbated, made worse. And black families are now faring worse than they have been for the last 25 years, according to statistics. For a black person, a black family, they were better off under Presidents George, Clinton, Bush, Reagan, and even Carter. And in New York, about 60% of all black babies are aborted, are killed before they have a chance to see the light of life. And Obama wants to increase that. He wants to kill even more black babies as well as white ones. And also under Obama, hatred of white people has increased. There have been more attacks on white people for being white. There have also been cases of pogroms, of groups of whites suddenly be finding themselves in a black situation with a lot of blacks around, and suddenly all the blacks start attacking them for no reason, for no apparent reason. Out of a group of crowd-inspired violence, and these attacks have taken place, and they're liable to do so even more. They're liable to do so even more, and Obama is somehow or other partly responsible for this. And if Obama is not re-elected, they're liable to be outbreaks of even more racial violence, and they're liable to be mass demonstrations led by people like Barak, and the demonstrations this time are liable to be anti-white and also anti-Jewish. The followers of Obama and Obama himself are anti-Jewish, and they're against white people. Even though Obama had a white mother, and he owes a lot of what he is to white people, and he has a lot of white followers and a lot of white advisors, according to his book's impression is that he dislikes white people, and also he probably dislikes Jews, because most of his mentors are people who are against the state of Israel and against the Jewish people. And Obama now is anti-Israel. His administration is anti-Israel. They are for the Palestinians. They encourage the Palestinians. They cause the Palestinians to make demands on the Israelis that the Israelis cannot meet. And maybe he's doing us a favour. By raising their expectations, they make it impossible for even our Arab lovers to talk with them. So, why are their expectations raised? Because members of the American personnel, US personnel, inspired by Obama's policies, have been talking to them, encouraging them to be intransigent, to be against the Israelis, against compromise and helping the Israelis, or working together with them. Also, whenever Israel is reported to have done something, whether it's done something or not, the American administration immediately interferes. Whenever the Israelis announce plans to build a few houses in Jerusalem or on the West Bank, immediately the USA steps in and prevents it, and because of that there's an effective freeze on building, and the whole of the state of Israel is suffering because of that. The house of housing and rent is exorbitant, not enough houses are being built, and Obama is responsible for this. Obama has been against the state of Israel in many ways. And Obama received a lot of money from Saudi Arabia, or those groups who support him did. Obama from the very beginning was backed by people who were influenced by Saudi Arabia, and even now Saudi Arabia is helping the clan, or the putative clan of Obama in Kenya. Obama believes that his forefather was a person from Kenya, and this person who Obama believes who was his father was a descendant of an Arab slave trader, and he belongs to a particular tribal group in Kenya, which Obama has always backed and always helped, and is now being helped by Saudi Arabia, by money from Saudi Arabia, and this help is a result of Obama coming into power. It's done with the blessing of Obama, and in order to have some type of deal with Obama about this. And the policies of Obama in Tunisia and Libya and Egypt are all also been coordinated with Saudi Arabia, and they're all in effect aim, or seem to aim, or the results are that the Muslim Brotherhood should take over in these countries. The Muslim Brotherhood is in effect the same as Al-Qaeda, the same as the Taliban, or the Taliban is actually a branch of it, an expression of the Muslim Brotherhood, and this is what Obama has been doing. This is what Obama has given cause to through his and also not only him but his administrators, so to think alongside him, advise him and work with him, they have in effect led to this. The Muslims have taken over the world, whereas Muslim extremists have taken over the Muslim world very quickly and very aggressively and very nastily, very, very evilly, maliciously one could say. They now kill Christians, they abduct and rape Christian women, force them to become Muslim, and they do all kinds of things to all kinds of people, also their own people, and they threaten the world, and they threaten the USA, and they threaten the state of Israel. And Obama is responsible for this, and he seems to be consciously know what he is doing, at least we assume he does. Obama was a disciple of Jeremy White for about 15 years. Wright married him, and Obama attended his church, and Obama listened to his speeches and was inspired by them. He gave the title of one of his books after a sermon by Wright, and Wright is a person who hates white people, hates Jewish people, he hates the state of Israel. There's a YouTube clip in which you can see Wright shouting out, "God curse America." That's what Wright says. That is what Obama, the trend of thought that Obama has shared in. We're not talking about one-time incidents that happened. The impression is that this was something that an attitude that Wright was obsessed with and frequently spoke about. It was one of his main themes. Obama claimed that the September 11th Twin Tower attacks that were committed by Saudi Arabian Arabs, Muslims against the USA, that the USA was responsible for them. That's what Wright says. Wright also says that the AIDS virus, HIV virus, was invented by the USA to exterminate black people. That's what Wright says, and Obama must have been a party to that trend of thought. And Obama has given no signs that he has changed. And this is what we are faced with. Obama hates Jews, he hates white men, and he is a danger to us, a danger to the world, and he should be removed from his place of influence. And we hope that you will take what we have said into consideration. If there's anything you doubt, you can look it up. There's references, adequate references to what we have said. It is actually well-known common knowledge, and may the Almighty show you the truth, and show us all the truth, and be with you and with us. Thank you very much. This is Yair Davidiy. I've been speaking to you from Jerusalem on behalf of Brit-Am Hebrew Nations. I've been speaking to you from Jerusalem, which is the capital of the state of Israel. In the future will be the capital of all the 10 and 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you very much.